I got a text from some very credible dudes who said they pressed 50 to take down all the Big Meech posts, right? Once again, I got the text, I read it out loud. I was on
Big Meech's giant welcome home concert.
I told you it
was
gonna get
canceled.
What'd I tell you?
The bill was
What
insane.
did I say?
The list of artists on it was
The lineup of names on that list was wild. And right at the top, Big Meech himself, the original BMF boss, the legend who built an empire straight out the mud, is heated. Word on the street says Meech caught wind that Rick Ross has been getting a little too close to 50 Cent lately. And if you know the deep history between these three, you already know that's a move that doesn't sit right. What once started as respect, with Ross saying, "I think I'm Big Meech," now feels like straight up betrayal in Meech's eyes. And when Meech speaks, the whole game listens. That man's word carries weight, the kind that can make the room go silent in seconds. Let's spin it back for a second.
Put your back against the wall and just slide down. You already know, car show going down June 7th. Get online right now, get your tickets right now. But for the hustlers, I want y'all to understand you gotta stop making business personal.
Rick Ross built his early rep off that BMF vibe, the luxury, the whips, the boss energy. His record BMF had the streets lit like never before. It was supposed to be a salute, a real tribute to Meech and the whole movement. And back then, Meech actually respected it. He saw it as love, as Ross keeping the legacy alive while he was behind bars. Ross stayed shouting out BMF in interviews, living that flashy life and talking the same boss talk Meech once preached. "I never folded, never told, never will. Death before dishonor." Those words were gospel to his crew. Loyalty was never up for debate, not in Meech's world. That BMF name, it carries a price.
I never folded, never told, never will. Death before dishonor.
And it's not something you just wear for clout. So when 50 Cent came through and built an entire TV empire around BMF, the story, the brand, the legend, it hit Meech different. It wasn't just about TV anymore. It was about who really owns the legacy. 50 was stacking up millions off that BMF brand, even though Meech's camp felt like they weren't getting the real credit they deserved. And what really made Meech's blood boil?
Y'all gonna be disappointed when Lil Baby don't show up? When Skilla don't show up, when Vizzo don't show up? And all these show up?
Rick Ross was supposed to be family. That's what cut deep. Y'all gonna be disappointed when Lil Baby don't show up, one person close to the camp joked. But behind the scenes, nobody was laughing. Sources close to Meech say everything flipped the moment he heard Ross praising 50's BMF show, calling it genius, saying 50 did his thing. To Meech, that wasn't support, that was switching sides. In his world, loyalty ain't something you play with. Either you ride with the family or you ride with the opposition. No in between.
Problem with some rappers, some rappers think they war ready and they beef ready till they step into the beef. And then they get somebody coming at them crazy. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what it's like to have beef with 50 Cent? 50 Cent is incredible with the beef. Not just musically, with every day he was going viral. Yo, your mother, your wife. I'm like, oh my God, this guy here. Like, don't get beef with 50 Cent.
Ross has always defended himself, saying, "Yo, I did that record out of love, out of respect for what Meech represented, the hustle, the vision." But from Meech's point of view, that love don't look the same anymore. Not after Ross started showing that 50 Cent energy. You gotta remember, 50 and Ross have been locked in a feud for over a decade. Diss tracks, court cases, drama with families, it's been personal for years. So when Meech saw Ross suddenly getting friendly with 50, that didn't look like peace. That looked like a calculated chess move. And once the streets caught wind,
I can't believe a stand-up dude doing his time would suddenly say, "I don't want to be here no more. I'm gonna become a rat."
whispers started flying fast. People saying Ross was just using the BMF name to stay relevant, chasing the bag instead of loyalty. Those whispers don't fade, they spread like smoke. And when that message reached Meech, he didn't brush it off. He took it personally. One of Meech's close people said straight up, Meech felt played. He said Ross was out here talking like family, acting like he was part of the circle, but then turning around and congratulating.
So BMF is BMF, but not because of 50, it's because of Big Meech, right? That's his story, that's his life, right? So I don't think 50 doing them no favors. They both profited, right?
A man who's profiting off my name without permission. That's heavy coming from Meech, a man who built his entire legacy on codes, respect, and loyalty. And this isn't just ego, this is about honor and legacy. The source added, "Dude, we're talking about ain't just any rapper. You know I'm gonna say that much, over and out." That right there says it all. While Ross is out here living large, popping bottles and shouting, "I think I'm Big Meech," the real Big Meech has been fighting for his name from behind those walls. He doesn't have the luxury to go live, clap back, or defend himself every time someone tries to capitalize off his story.
I owe you no loyalty. That don't mean I can't go get money elsewhere, right? If more money get presented to me, right, I'm gonna go get me a bag. I just did 20 years in prison, right? I'm not gonna let nobody stop no bags come in because of y'all beef, bro.
So when Ross lines up next to the same man making millions off that BMF name, of course Meech feels disrespected. That's not just business, that's personal. Now to keep it fair, Ross's side has been saying, look, this isn't about choosing sides. It's about hip hop, storytelling, and giving legends their flowers. And maybe that's true on paper, but in the street world, context matters. Who you stand next to matters. You can't pop champagne with a man your brother considers an enemy and expect everything to stay cool.
Dude, we're playing with dude. You know, I'm gonna say that much. Over and out. I catch y'all when I catch y'all. It's
So here we are, Big Meech feeling betrayed, Ross claiming it's all love, and the streets trying to figure out who's really keeping it real. And 50, he's just sitting back watching the chaos unfold, probably grinning behind the scenes. That's always been his superpower, controlling the narrative, flipping every situation so that everyone ends up dancing to his rhythm. Whether Ross meant to or not, he just walked straight into 50's orchestra, and now he's moving to the beat of someone else's drum. Boss of all bosses, 50 once said, and to all my supporters, business owners, hustlers, entrepreneurs, whatever you're building, hit me right now.
Look, I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small budget series. Now it's time to do a big budget film.
He's a master at spinning control into opportunity. In one interview, 50 even doubled down saying, "I don't gotta explain nothing. Meech respects what I built. We're telling his story the right way, but just because 50 says it doesn't mean Meech co-signed everything. Sure, he might respect the hustle, but that doesn't mean he's cool with how the game's being played. When you're a legend like Meech, your story ain't just a headline, a lyric, or a TV series, it's your life. Every scene, every quote, every dollar made off that name means something deep. So when others start cashing in without checking in, it feels like somebody's using your reflection to build their own castle.
What up, though, boss of all bosses? And today I'm coming to tell all my supporters, if you're a business owner, entrepreneur, whatever you got, you trying to make it go up, hit me right now.
And that cuts deep. Meech has been in this game too long not to recognize how the industry moves. He's seen the cameras, the contracts, the fake loyalty that comes with clout chasing. So when he saw Ross and 50 suddenly hanging out, snapping pictures, and talking business, that wasn't just a collab, that was a message. It screamed that loyalty had become negotiable. And that's the part that really stings, because Ross ain't just some random rapper. He was supposed to be part of the family. Ross ain't just anybody. He's the same man who once called himself Big Meech, who built his whole boss persona around that image. So when Meech saw him giving props to 50, the same man who turned his life story into entertainment, it hit different. It felt like betrayal wrapped up in applause. Meech ain't out here trying to start beef, but he's standing on one thing loud and clear.
50 had your key. Do you know what your one key? Me and you got the same key to any embarrassment. Whether it's factual or not, what is it? What's your key?
Being exposed?
Lena,
okay.
Respect his name, respect the foundation, and don't cross that invisible line between admiration and exploitation. In the streets, that line means everything. Once you cross it, there's no rewind, no fixing it. It's done. Now here's what most people don't get. Meech ain't hating on success. Nah, that man built his empire by studying winners and still paving his own lane. But when you start taking someone's name, someone's legacy, and stacking money off it, you better move with respect. You can't halfway salute the man who gave you the blueprint, then turn around and dap up his rival. That's not how the code works. If you really from the streets, you already know. That's one thing you never do. And let's keep it real. 50 Cent don't play checkers, he plays chess. Every move he makes is strategic, calculated, and meant to shake things up. He knows exactly how to stir the pot, keep people talking, and stay 3 steps ahead of everyone else. So when Ross started showing public love to 50's BMF show, 50 didn't just see support, he saw leverage. And that's the part that changes everything. 50 saw the perfect opening, a chance to make Ross look like he was bending the knee. And best believe, 50 loved that. That's his kind of power play. Feeding off control, flipping loyalty into leverage. While all this is going down, Meech is on the other side of the wall, hearing about it secondhand. through calls, whispers, and news passed around by his people. Just imagine that, sitting in a cell, watching your own name get treated like a brand instead of a legacy. Seeing your old friends cozy up to the same man who turned your movement into primetime TV? That's not just frustrating, that's disrespect in a suit. Ross, meanwhile, keeps trying to play it cool. He's out here smiling, laughing, dropping those motivational quotes like, it's all love. But anybody who's been in this industry long enough knows silence can speak louder than any interview. You can say no beef all day, but when you start aligning yourself with someone your brother don't rock with, that silence starts to sound a lot like bet. Meech comes from a time when every handshake had meaning and every word carried weight. When he says loyalty, he's not saying it for clout. He means it like a contract signed in blood. So when he hears Ross shouting out 50's project or talking about it like a business deal, it don't sound like respect. It sounds like excuses. And the fans caught on fast. Social media lit up instantly. Comments flying in saying, Ross forgot who he was shouting out. Meech built that boss energy. Now Ross trying to sell it to 50. The internet doesn't miss a single move. And even though Meech can't go online himself, his message still travels fast through his people. And they made sure everyone heard it loud and clear. Meech ain't feeling the energy at all. Not one bit. What's wild is, the street's been waiting for a moment like this. 2 generations of power silently colliding. Meech stands for that old school code. Real street discipline, loyalty, and principles written on the pavement. Ross represents that new school hustle. Champagne toast, Lambos, luxury boss talk, and branding your name like a company. And then you got 50, the puppet master. The man who flips street credibility into Hollywood currency. So when all 3 of these names cross paths, it's more than a headline. It's history meeting strategy. Ross probably thought he was playing it smart, keeping peace with both sides. But in this world, neutrality don't exist. You either ride with the name that built you or the network that's cashing checks off it. You can't play both, because when you do, one side's gonna stop respecting you. And right now, Ross is losing respect from the side that gave him his boss identity in the first place. And the irony? It's almost poetic. Ross been preaching loyalty his whole career. Self-made, Maybach music, boss talk. All those words come straight from that BMF spirit, that family first mentality, that ride for your own energy. But when it came time to live that loyalty, the actions didn't match the motto. One of Meech's people even said, we ain't asking Ross for money or shout outs. We just asking him to stand on the same principles he built his name on. That's real talk. They don't want drama. They don't want an apology. They just want acknowledgement. A simple, yo, I got love for Meech and the family. That's it. A nod of respect to the man who made the name mean something. I'll never disrespect that bond. That's all Meech ever wanted to hear. Simple respect. But Ross seems too busy guarding his image to step up and clear the air. Now just picture this. If Meech was free right now, do you really think Ross would move the same way? Nah, not a chance. The energy would be completely different. Meech would press that convo face to face, no internet posts, no sneak comments, no subliminals, just real man-to-man dialogue, straight up. But because Meech is behind the wall, too many folks feel bold now, twisting the story, adding their spin, acting like Meech too far away to check it, and that's where they got it twisted. Meech might be locked up, but his presence still moves the streets. His name still carries weight from Atlanta to Detroit to Miami. Everywhere that BMF flag ever touched. So when he says he's disappointed, that echo travels far. It hits hard in boardrooms, studios, and corner blocks. The whole industry hears it, even if they pretend not to. And deep down, Ross knows it too. That's exactly why he's been so quiet. Because if Ross really believed he didn't do anything wrong, he'd speak up like he always does. He'd jump on camera, clear his name, and set the record straight, but he hasn't. He's letting the story breathe, hoping it fades out on its own. Only problem? BMF stories don't fade. They stick, they linger, and they leave a mark that doesn't go away easy. Right now, everything's at a standstill. Meech ain't trying to start a war, he's just drawing a line in the sand. His message is clear as day. If you scream BMF, you better mean it. And as for Ross, he's at a crossroads. Either he doubles down and keeps pretending it's all love, or he humbles himself, reaches out, and fixes what's broken before it's too late. But here's the thing about loyalty. Once it cracks, it never looks the same again. You can try to patch it up, you can paint over it, you can even pretend it's fixed, but the damage stays. And in the street world, those little cracks, they can turn into earthquakes. That's why this situation hits so hard, because once trust breaks, there's no going back to how things used to be. So what happens next? Ross gonna keep saying it's just music, brushing it off like it's all art and business. 50's gonna keep expanding his empire, turning real life stories into TV gold. And Meech, he's gonna keep reminding the world that his story ain't a storyline, it's a legacy. Something you don't rewrite, something you don't remix, something you respect. And the wildest part? Even through all this back and forth, the street's still chanting one message. Free Big Meech. That's real respect. The kind money can't buy, fame can't fake, and time can't erase. Ross might have borrowed the boss image, but Meech, he's the blueprint. Always was, always will be. If you made it this far, make sure to hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe so you never miss the next story that's shaking the culture. See you in the next video. It's only getting deeper from here.